Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Stitches. I'm your yarn host, Jennifer. Today is Monday. I'm drinking some black coffee because I ran out of my creamer. Well, my creamer went bad, I think. I don't drink coffee very often. I drink it on occasion. And so, yeah, coffee creamer went bad. So I'm drinking it black, but I got a little bit of sugar, zero sugar caramel syrup in there to give it a little bit of a flavor and a sweetness. Is actually pretty decent. Yeah, I didn't sleep real well last night, so I'm drinking coffee just to get through today's events, because today is Friday. It is the Friday before, I know it's Monday in your world. It is the Friday before Mother's Day. I'm recording and editing a bunch of videos today because I want to get all next week up and done so that next week when I'm preparing for graduation. By the way, Juju is going to be featured in a bunch of videos this week because me and her were doing the thing together. So you'll be seeing her and you'll be seeing mommy-daughter time. It'll be fun. Graduation is the 20th. I'm super excited, a little bit nervous, but super excited. So next week, while we're preparing for graduation and getting the house ready and clean for guests and all of the things, because my sister is coming up with her family. Yeah, while we're doing all that next week, I already told Juju, I was like, we gotta get this house clean, we gotta get some things ready because there's gonna be babies in the house. And they're only gonna technically be here for like Saturday because they're coming into town Friday and leaving Sunday. So it's gonna be Saturday, but I don't really, we're not doing a party, but I want to have like a nice dinner for her after graduation. And like, I bought decorations, which you guys will see this week. A lot of fun. We're having fun the next couple weeks because we got a lot going on. The week after graduation is little man's last day of the 3rd grade. By the way, he is home. You might hear him. He came home from school yesterday really sick. I'll get to that in a minute. Try to put my thoughts in a line and actually keep following them instead of going So next week the videos should all be uploaded. Hopefully I get that done today. If not, I will finish working on that Monday while you're watching this video. But then I want to record for the following week because we're going to be out of town. I want to get as many videos uploaded as we can because we are going to Florida at the end of this month and part of the beginning of June. And so because of that, I want to have videos on so that I'm still earning an income while we're on vacation. So there's probably not going to be 5 videos for those 2 weeks. There probably will be 3. But any videos that you watch help me so that because I don't get vacation pay on YouTube, you know. Any videos that you watch actually does help me so that I'm still getting an income. Because anybody that has a graduating child and with college coming up, there's a lot of expenses coming up. So I'm trying to just keep plugging forward and keep putting money into my savings account for, I kind of scratch getting a couch right now because I don't want Juju to have to get financial aid. I don't want her to have to apply for loans and build up student loans. So I am personally, Mr. Cinnamon's helping, but he pays all the big bills. So for me personally, I'm trying to make sure she has funding for college because we weren't able to prepare when she was younger to put a savings account for, I mean, we have a little bit of money put away for that, but college is expensive. And I just thank God she's going to a community college. I even told my doctor that I was like, you know, he's all, what's she planning on doing after she graduates? I was like, she's going to community college. And he's all, that's awesome. He goes, I love community college. He goes, I put 8 kids through college. He goes, I'm telling you, community college saves you so much money. And for my kids that chose community college, I'm so grateful for that. I was like, yes, so, as am I. And a lot of people have asked, what is she doing? What is she going to college for? She doesn't know what she wants to be when she grows up. So right now she's just taking her gen eds, her general education, math, English, stuff like that, until she finds a path that she wants to go down. So right now she's just looking at a general education like type associate's degree, and then in 2 years we are planning on moving to Florida if everything goes as planned. When little man is done with 5th grade, She'll be done with college. My niece will be done with college. My niece has chosen not to come with us. She said she's going to stay here because she's going to be a teacher and she just doesn't like the rules in Florida for teachers. So, I have no doubt she'll be fine. I have no doubt. I have prepared her a lot for adulthood. So, all right, now back to little man. I actually controlled my train of thought and remembered what I was going to talk about. I'm so proud of myself. That is so hard to do with my brain. So yesterday, little man's bus stop is at the corner, but we're like close to the corner. There's one house between our house and the corner, okay? So he's got just a short distance to come home from the bus stop. I stand on the porch because he's still terrified of bees, and we are being attacked by giant wood bees. They're like this big and they just will swarm your face. And I made the bees mad because they were doing this in my face. I took my slipper off and I slapped 2 of them out of my face. And so now they're dive bombing the heck out of us. So don't really know what to do about those. So I have to go out there and protect him when he comes in because he's terrified and won't even come close to the porch if he sees the bees are out. And like I said, they're big giant bees. They're just like, they don't sting, they don't bite, but to have something that big flying at your face all the time is, he's scared of bugs. Okay, Mr. Cinnamon is terrified of bugs too. And the 2 of them are bobbing and weaving, screaming and running. And I'm out there with my slipper fighting off the bees. So anyway, I stand on the porch and I wait for his bus to come home. He's walking really slow off the bus, which he usually runs home. He's very excited, very hyper. He checks them out, all that stuff. He comes up and he's all, Mom, are the bees up there? I said, I don't see any. He's all, can I run? I said, yeah. He goes, I don't feel good. I was like, okay, well, come on in the house. And he got to the front door and he's all, I think I'm going to be sick. I think I'm going to throw up. And he goes, I really don't feel good. I am not playing VR video games today. Because he has a little thing that goes over his face and he plays video games on those. And he has like these wand things and he plays this game called Beat Saber that he loves, okay? And he plays it every single day because he loves music so much. So, he immediately went in the bathroom and threw up. He threw up all night long last night. Didn't want to eat anything except miso soup. So we got him some miso soup. He threw that up. He's just having all kinds of stomach issues. And I asked him, I said, when did your stomach start hurting? He said, after lunch. I said, what did you have for lunch? He had a parfait, which is yogurt and fruit layered. And so I think it's the parfait. He said, right after lunch, I started to not feel good. I was like, it was probably bad yogurt or something. So he stayed home today. He barely slept last night, which is why I'm so tired. He was up a lot. He slept in my room on the floor part of the night. Part of the night he was in the bed. The other part of the night he wanted to sleep with Bentley, so Bentley doesn't... Bentley only sleeps with Mommy. So Bentley actually got on the floor with him for a little bit. Then Bentley's walking around the house, which is dangerous because he gets into stuff. And so then I'm not sleeping because I'm listening for where Bentley is in the house. And then Bentley came back to bed. And then like it was just... Lucas was up at 5:30 with Mr. Cinnamon, just loud as could be, just hyper, just doing all the things. And I'm like, you need to lay back down. You did not sleep and I'm exhausted. And so he's like, can I watch TV? I'm like, yeah. So he's flipping through the TV. I'm trying to sleep. And then finally he's on, I don't feel good. And I looked at him, I said, you need to go back to sleep. Because if you don't rest, your body can't heal and you're going to get more sick. And so he turned the TV off, which he does not sleep without a TV on. He has to have noise and light, which is an ADHD thing, which I've learned. Now I know why I can't sleep without sound and light. So, and if there's a break in the sound, like if you have a TV show on and like the TV goes into sleep mode, me and him both will wake up, like jarring awake. Because there is a disruption in the rhythm. By the way, the person that sent me the rubber things for my glasses are amazing. Let me show you. They're just little stick-on rubber things. Hold my glasses where they're supposed to be and I can actually like do the head tilt thing, right? You guys kept telling me your glasses are slipping. I didn't realize how much they were, like, because I was constantly pushing, touching, trying to adjust them to see it, because they were just slightly moving. And because I have actually 3 prescriptions, I can't see far looking straight through my glasses right here. Like, I have to look right here for far away. This is like computer, you guys, like anything that is in a arm's reach. And then down here is when I'm working closer to my body, like when I need to see crocheting, knitting, anything that's close to my face. So because of that, like, if they slip slightly, I can't see here. So those rubber things have been a godsend. I even told Mr. Cinnamon about them. That ain't it. They were on my desk right here, but there's so much stuff on my desk because I've done a lot I've done so much this week. Now last week I was showing you guys my whips and how I could not get anything done. I still haven't tackled those whips over there except for this. I finished this. I'm so happy with this. Now this was, no, we're not going to start with this because this is not what, I was having a hard time finishing this. I guess we are going to start with this. I was having a really hard time finishing this. This is the Rusty Road crop top from MJ's Off the Hook. It is part of her summertime lace collection. I bought the entire series of patterns. I think there's 8 patterns in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 patterns in here. And they're all size small to 5X. So I actually thanked her. I thanked her a couple of times. I'm like, hey, like, I appreciate that you're doing patterns up to 5X. By the way, I made the 5X and it's too big. So that's another issue I'm having is I have a little bit of body dysmorphia happening to where I lost 45 pounds. I have lost 45 pounds since January. I still see in the mirror and feel the big giant body. So even though I've lost 45 pounds, I've dropped almost 2 full sizes. I still see that I need a 5X in my head. And I make 5X because I want to make sure it fits. I don't want it to be tight. And I don't want it to be form-fitting. I like to have my clothes a little bit loose and baggy. And so when I made this, and I know up here it looks perfectly fine, but when I show you the bottom, you'll see what it's too big. I should have made the 3X. And I didn't. I was scared it wasn't going to fit and I would have wasted all that time. And I should have made the 3X. For a couple of reasons. I have not even blocked this. So there's a lot of stretch room in this material because it is wool. I could stretch this probably twice the size that it is now. And I also am going to have to block the bottom a little bit because it's kind of a little too big and it ripples a little bit. And it's not that I added too many stitches. I didn't. It's just, it's too big for that part of my body, so it lays kind of weird. And she does recommend blocking all her stuff. I hate blocking, so like I'm probably not going to block this. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wet it or use the steamer a little bit and just kind of pull the bottom part because the bottom is also trying to curl a little bit. So now this is, like I said, this is the Rusty Road crop top. Let's see if I can find a picture that does not involve the pattern. I know she has a picture in here. Alright. This doesn't tell you anything other than what you need for the pattern. And this is a free tutorial, and I believe this is a free pattern on her blog. But I purchased the pattern because I think it's worth the price that she's charging for these patterns. They're amazing. They're well written. They have charts, and they have schematics, and they have just... And like I said, there's a video to go along with this. So this is the crop top on her. She is way, way smaller than me. So obviously it looks different on her body than it does mine. But I still think I am rocking this shirt. Okay. So that's the Rusty Road crop top by MJ's Off the Hook. I had a hard time finishing it because see how it's just too, there's a lot of extra room. Like a lot. And so it's curling and I just think I should have probably made a little bit smaller size because I would like it to fit a little bit more like that, but it's not too bad. It's just... So anyway, this is what it looks like. I'm going to squat down a little bit. So I just need to pull this down, uncurl it a little bit, maybe steam it. I didn't realize it pulled so much on this side. This is Hobby Lobby yarn. It is the hand-dyed cake things. It is, I believe, the color Supernova. And I had three hanks. I have almost a full hank left. With my little yarn thingy. And it took forever. It took forever because it is a #1 weight yarn. It is super thin lace weight yarn. That is what the pattern calls for. Now that I've made one and I understand the stitch patterning, the design, the way this is formed is exactly like the Rainbows and Sunshine shrug that I made for Mary Maxim Week. So if you wanted to make this with a 3 weight, you could. You would just measure it to your body the same way that you measured the shrug and seam it up the front and the back. It is constructed almost identical. So I was actually like really, it was easy to understand because I just made the shrug and I'm like, okay, Nancy from She's Got Yarn Too picked this pattern. I was gonna make the kimono, and I'm probably gonna make the kimono next. The Lacy Days kimono. Because I think that is just gorgeous. And I think I'm gonna make that next, and that's made with a 3 weight, so like, no guessing there. But Nancy picked this out, and then she changed the pattern entirely. She got hers done way faster than I did, but I stuck true to the pattern. Nancy likes to veer off a lot. She kind of has an ADHD brain too, and I mean, that's not an insult. My kid has ADHD. I'm positive that I have it. Like, but her brain is like, it's wired a little bit differently. And so she gets bored really easily and she's got to do it her way, which I applaud. And I actually promote that a lot on this channel. If I have a pattern that I created, like this shirt here, or the Sunshine and Rainbows cowl back there, or not cowl, shrug, I always encourage you in every one of my tutorials, do what feels best to you. If you need to make adjustments, just do it. If you screw up, you can frog it, but like most of the time, like that's where beauty comes from, is just experimentation, right? So now that I know how to make this, and it's basically the shrug, except it's a different stitch, I can change this out to make this with a DK weight. I can make it longer, I can make it whatever I want it to be, because I completely understand the construction. It's a really easy pattern to follow. And like I said, there's tutorials to go along with it. It's 2 panels and you sew them up the front, the back, and the sides. So, because I had so much yarn left over, and I did not want to work with it again, especially not at this, I held 2 together and made myself a headband. And this is way thicker than the shirt, because I held 2 together. This is more the equivalent of like a 3 weight. But now I have a matching headband, if I can tie it without tangling my hair in. Should have brought, you know, I got a clip right here. Hang on, hold up, wait a minute. Ain't nothing but a tutti fruity. Get on the floor if you got that booty. Interlude. All right, hang on. Banana clip. All right, so, and I did not do the stitch here. I just did like a wonky V stitch. So instead of doing the V inside of the V's, I did, hang on, let me get my hands. So a V stitch to untuck my ears. Okay, so a V stitch is double crochet chain 1, double crochet in the same stitch, so it looks like a V. So this does not V stitches, it's a different stitch entirely, but when it's opened up it looks V shape-ish. I'll show you up close, I'll take it off in a minute. Okay, so when I was working the V stitches in this, to give it kind of the idea of this without recreating this stitch entirely, I just stacked the V's like in one of the posts instead of in the V section here. So the V's go like this, like this, like this, like this. Okay, that's what I did for the headband. And this is super washable, so you gotta be careful with it, but is this not so stinking cute? I feel pretty. Alright, now I'm gonna take this off and show you the stitch in this. That is what the stitch looks like. But see how there's kind of like a V here and then a V there and then a, well, if you go that way. But it's not actually the V stitch, but it looks like the V stitch a little bit. So, and I did not seam this up the way she suggested because I hate sewing things together. So I just single crocheted it. So that way I know the inside from the outside because there is a little thing. Oh, and this I changed to as well. I wanted a little bit of a thicker band, which is why it's curling. But I did an extra long band down here. So whereas hers is just kind of, let me see. Oh dang, my page came off. Her banding is like really thin at the bottom. I don't think there's a picture that shows. I think she just has single crochets for finishing on the bottom. I did two rows of double crochet and a row of half double crochet to give it a little thicker of a band. And I really think it's really cute. I think next time I'll make it just a tad longer, but I think if I wet this and hang it up, or wet it and stretch it, I know that this will open up to the length that I want. See, like that. That's how I want it. So maybe I do need to block it. Can you take a look at my waist, guys? Holy crap. Who knew I had a waist? I'm so shocked by that. So, yeah. There we have it. That is mostly what I was working on. But to get this finished, I really needed to boost my mojo, or my Krojo, if you will. I got myself all winded. I woke up this morning exhausted, and my blood sugar wasn't super low, but I was so shaky, and I think it's from not sleeping, and my blood pressure has been going down kind of low, and so we're probably gonna have to adjust my medications again because I took myself off of one of my blood pressure medications and it's still going really low. So fun times, but at least I know that I'm doing what's right for my body because my goal is to get off of a lot of these medications and we're headed towards that. So to get this finished, and now I can retire my Jake Wesley Rogers bag. Put that there. To finish this, I really need, I was mopey. I was in a mood. And I was like, I don't want to do anything. The idea of knitting just, lately I've not wanted to knit anything. I don't want to even look at knitting needles. And I don't know why. And then I was having such a hard time crocheting this. I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I was losing my Krojo because my whip bags are building up, and I'm not one to let my whip bags build up. I don't start another project till I finish one. And when I couldn't finish this because I was getting so frustrated because it was taking so long and because the stitches were so small and I was having a hard time seeing it, and I was using the wrong hook. I'm gonna be honest, the hook wasn't pointy enough, so I was having a hard time getting in the stitches with this thin stinky yarn. So I'm like, okay, what can I do? What can I do to get my Krojo going again? What can I do to make myself finish things? So I pulled out my knitting machine, which is still in the living room because that's where I work on the knitting things, on the knitting machine. I take my rolly chair, my little computer chair, because it's the perfect height for the table Mr. Cinnamon built me. And I crank out stuff while I'm watching TV with my family. That way I am still in the family mode time, but I'm also doing things, you know. So I went into my bag, which also is not in here. Oh, I also finished this. Anyway, we'll get to that in a minute. To get my Krojo working, because I was working on this, which we'll talk about in a minute, and that was killing my hands. It was hurting my hands so bad, and so I couldn't even crochet on that. So I got partway done on that, which I'll show you in a few minutes, and my hands were killing me, and I'm like, I don't know what, I can't do anything. I don't want to do anything. And so that's where the knitting machine came in handy, because it doesn't hurt my hands. It hurts the heck out of my shoulders and my arm muscle right here. Like I got a little bit of like, it's hard there now. I'm getting, but I know it's flabby under there, but we don't care about that. It's like hard as a rock right here from the cranking. See, I'm getting all the muscles from cranking. I have a bag, which is with the knitting machine in the living room, my little man at the moment. And I have yarn in there that is meant for the knitting machine. Now, I'm going to tell a little story about Super Saver, because I had another incident with the Super Saver. A couple of years ago, I was working on a basket, and I was working with Red Heart Super Saver ombre. And it was hurting my hands, my skin particularly. I have a form of eczema, and it is very, very irritated by Red Heart Super Saver. And even right now, I have blisters on my hand. And where's a hole in my skin. I have blisters that are healing up. I have blisters that have just formed. Red Heart Super Saver and my skin don't get along. So I have like this love-hate relationship with Red Heart Super Saver. I want to love it. I really like some of their colors and some of the yarn. My machine, my knitting machines was using the yarn just fine, and then last week, I don't know what happened. I tried working with Red Heart Super Saver, and it was just, my machine was eating it. And then it started messing up on other yarns, and it started slipping. It's like the crank started slipping, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to break my machine to use Red Heart Super Saver. And then this basket is partially made with Red Heart Super Saver. It was causing blisters and holes in my skin. So the combination of those things happening at the same time. You just, baby, just put my phone. It's locked. Look at me. No. Put my phone on my knitting desk. The machine table. Okay? Thank you. He's using my phone for the remote because we still have not found the remote control for the TV. So because of that, I went through my stash. I was so frustrated. I donated every Red Heart Super Saver I had. Every single one. I had a big giant bag. Well, I kept 2 skeins, and it was the Americana colorway because nobody else has yarn like that, and I was determined I'm going to use it. And I know that I can knit with Red Heart Super Saver easier than I can crochet with it. So I did a little bit of knitting this week. I did crochet this week. I did machine knitting this week. I did a lot. So I went and got on the knitting machine. I was like, okay, well, I need to make something that is fun, that is for me, that is enjoyable for me, and I need to use up this yarn that is in a bag. Yeah, baby.
I just played VR and I never got sick, but I never get sick. I'll just...
Honey, you might be better now. The parfait might be working its way out of your system. Just keep drinking a lot of water, okay? Love you.
I'm gonna keep playing VR.
Okay.
I think I have enough money to get a second controller today.
We'll see. Okay?
If I do, I'll get a second controller.
If you're feeling better, listen, if you're feeling better, you can help Daddy clean the car and then you'll earn the money for the controller.
Well, they'll still give me the money.
Not if you don't earn it. So, he's gonna go play his video game upstairs. I pulled out some yarn that was a scrap ball of yarn that I think I got at a thrift store. I don't know where it was, and I wanted to make something different on the knitting machine that I've never made before, that I wanted to make. I wanted to make a lovey. And I saw a tutorial a while ago. I did not follow the tutorial for this, but I remembered enough of the key details to make a lovey. This yarn, I don't know what yarn it is. It is a very thin yarn. It's like really thin. So everything you see here is double layered. So I made the body here, it's double thick. Come on, light. There we go. It's double thick. And this is just a tube, okay? And I folded it in half and I seamed it up at the top. These are tubes that are folded in half and doubled. I made the smaller tubes for the arms and the ears on Sheila. my little Addie. So the body and the head was made on the big one. The arms and the ears were made on the little one. I cinched it here a little bit. This is just one solid tube. I'm still working on assembly because I've made one amigurumi with knit. I didn't care for it. I actually got rid of it because it was a bunny. It was a big fluffy bunny. But I think he's really cute. I fell in love with this yarn, but I have no idea what it is. And like I said, these are all double layered because this was a really thin yarn. This was the thinnest number 3 I've ever seen. It might have been a sport weight. His head is actually 4 layers because I was stuffing it and I didn't want you to be able to see through. So there's 2 layers of this body part, but I also created his head separate. So it's a double layer of a ball that I created on the knitting machine. And no, I am not going to give a tutorial for any of this stuff because I just can't. I don't want to. I don't feel like it. So this yarn is beautiful. It's so soft. And this little bunny is so stinking cute. And it's so soft. It's so soft. I understuffed his arms. His ears are not stuffed at all so that they laid flat. But because it's double layered, it's really squishy. Beautiful. I had so much fun making that. So I'm like, okay, well, let's make another one. This one looks more like a dog. This one does not look as cute as that one. So in this instance, the first one turned out better than the second one. But this is just me playing. This one looks more like a dog. This is a crocheted bow. This is a tutorial from Jujus and Stitches. But the dog itself is, I like his arms better because I just did a long tube here and I cinched it and attached it here. But his head's a little bit too big. So this one looks more like a dog. So this one's a puppy, this one's a bunny. It's the same freaking pattern, but I think if his ears were longer, he would look more like a bunny. But puppy and bunny, are these not cute? And these are so much fun. They're so much fun. So I can't give you row counts because I didn't keep track of the yarn. This is also a really thin, unknown yarn from the thrift store. This baby yarn. This one is actually thinner than that one. But it's so pretty. The yarn is so pretty. I wish I knew what this yarn was because I would buy some more of it if I could find it. I did the same thing with him. His head is 4 layers. So I made the ball with a double layer and then the body is a double layer. And I attached it at the roof again, which I kind of like it at the roof. Like it just makes sense. I don't know why. I could have seamed it up at the bottom and just had this closed off, but I kind of wanted it open because when my sister was a baby, she used to have like this silky nightgown and she would just hold it and rub it. And she just loved the texture. And so that's why I wanted this to be open in case like any babies, like if this ever goes to a baby, but it's probably not because these are not real safe for babies. But like my idea, and I'm just really making these for myself right now as a way to test these out and figure out a better way to do these. But I was just thinking about like a little kid or something rubbing for comfort. So I made those. And then at that point, my juices are flowing. I'm ready to do all things. And so I did. I did all things. All the things. So the next thing I made was a hat. And this is just a cinch top hat because I was really I was in go mode. I just wanted to make things so that my creative juices just kept bubbling up, right? This is a Bernat Jacquard yarn that I got at Scrap RVA. I love self-patterning yarn so much. It is so thrilling to knit it and it do this, okay? Now, I only had one skein of this colorway and I wanted to have something like it. So what I did is I got some anti-pilling acrylic in a discontinued colorway. And I did the inside a different color, but it matches the top there almost perfectly. So it's reversible. You can wear it this way, you can wear it that way. My head is really big, so I can't actually fold up the brim with these hats if I put them on, because my head takes up all the space. All the space. So I just wear it like this, like a typical beanie. And then, you know, I can try these on for you. Outfit change. So that's the hat. We got a little bit of a baggy situation happening here, but I mean, I could roll up the rim to win, but I don't really like wearing them like that. I'd rather it be saggy baggy in the back. This is 120 rows, 60 of one, 60 of the next. And then I made a matching cowl. So I did the rest of the yarn from the hat, and then I did the rest of the yarn from the blue, and I seamed it up. And so now you have a matching cowl. I just think this is so pretty. I really love the look of this. I have so many hats and scarves and stuff, and I honestly have no use for most of this stuff. I make way more than anybody I know could possibly use. But I enjoy making them, and I was like, okay, well, if I make a stockpile, I can make a huge donation of stuff. So we have that. And then this one is really rough. I have to wash it to see if it softens up, because this one is just too rough for me to put on. This was a mystery yarn from the thrift store. The yellow is slightly softer. I don't remember what the yellow is, but this is just a scarf. We got 1/2 in this really cool color. 1/2 is yellow. So it looks like that, or it looks like this, which I think is the coolest way to wear it, right? Because then you have colors, you know? But like I said, that yarn is, ugh. That is Super Saver on a bad day. I don't know what, it might be old Super Saver. I don't know what that is, but I'm going to wash it and see if I can soften that up, because there's no way. And then this one is Red Heart Super Saver, and this is just a cowl. I just kind of squished it a little bit and seamed it up. It's not a real pretty seam, but that's meant to go on the back of your neck so you don't have as much fluff. And this is a Red Heart Super Saver once again. Thrift store find. I thought it was kind of Harry Potter-esque. And I'm sure someone will like to wear that if they're cold. And they can wear Red Heart Super Saver, because my skin is not happy with that. And then furthermore, don't know what this yarn is. These are also scrap balls that I had. No, I do know what this is, but I don't remember. These are all thrift store yarns that I gave a new life to. Except this purple is really, really soft. This purple came in, I believe, a mystery box or a mystery bag from Premier Yarns. So it is like delicious, soft, squishy purple. It's a bulky 5. I put it together with this furry yarn. I really like this style cowl. And my machine really likes the furry yarns for some reason. So we have, once again, a dual-sided cowl, and you can wear the fur up towards your head if you want. You wear it tucked in like that if it's really cold out. I know it's almost summer and I'm talking about winter wear, but like, it is what it is. Or you can flip it around and have the purple on your head. Oh, that slides a lot more, but, or you can just wear it like that, or like that, or you can double it up if you're really cold. I just like making these. I think they're fun. And I know we have a huge, huge homeless population in this area. And also, there's a huge homeless population in population in Detroit. So a lot of this stuff would be fantastic for donations and stuff like that. And then I took the purple because there's no way I was putting that back in my stash. I wanted to use up all the purple, and I mixed it with a white. And I made the purple. I used all the white and all the purple, so it's not quite half and half, but it's still kind of cool. So if you take and you wear it, and apparently I didn't weave in the ends for this one. If you wear it like that, it's just a cool scarf. It is a cool scarf. So those are going to go in my bucket for possible donations. This one is really, really warm and really soft. So I made all of those with the knitting machine. And then I'm like, well, since I'm working on the knitting machine, and I realized Red Heart Super Saver was getting eaten in the knitting machine, and this is around the time where I got frustrated and just put it all in a bag. And I actually talked to Mr. Cinnamon. I was like, I'm so frustrated with this dang yarn. Like, I want to work with it. I have such beautiful colors. I had the neon ones. I had the pastel ombre ones. I don't remember what it's called. It's the one everybody uses, right? I had all of those colors, and it was so hard to want to get rid of them because I can't use them. They're literally eating my skin. They're getting eaten by my knitting machine. I'm frustrated beyond compare. And at the same time, like, I just want to keep these yarns and use them. I'm so frustrated with it. And Mr. Cinnamon was like, if you can't use them, get rid of them. It makes room for new yarns. It gives you, like, and I go through this whole thing where I'm like, I am using the crap yarn that I'm not enjoying because I'm trying to get rid of it so that I can use the good stuff. And I'm trying to alter my mindset so that I'm using the good stuff, which is where this came in. And so I'm trying to grow emotionally and allow myself to use the yarn that I want to use and not just the crap yarn. And I know that there's a lot of people that love Super Saver because they say that's all they can afford. There are a lot of value yarns on the market that are cheaper than Red Heart Super Saver that are softer and better and don't tear my skin up. I'm just going to say that. But there's yarns that Super Saver makes in certain colors that just nobody else makes. So because I love Americana colorways, I am not gung-ho America. I'm not uber patriotic. I mean, I love that I live in America. Don't get me wrong. But I am not political at all. I think politics are a waste of time, to be honest. It's hard to explain, but like, I love the Americana aesthetic without being uber patriotic. And I have neighbors on this side and across the street. She's Democrat. She's a gung-ho Democrat. She arranges for people to go door to door to get people to vote Democrat. She is so anti anything that's not Democrat, okay? And then I have the people across the street who are really, really nice. And they are Republican, but they're like the quiet, reserved Republican. And I am neither. I'm going to tell you that. I'm neither. And my family is divided, okay? We're a divided household. So I think politics is just a waste of space, a waste of time, honestly. I know that there's an importance in the elections and all of that stuff, but like, people waste so much energy on arguing over it, and it's just ridiculous to me. So I'm just going to say all of that. But I still love the Americana stuff, right? And I'm proud to be American, but I'm like, it's not, I don't think America is better than any other country. I think everybody has problems and issues, and I equally love Canada. I've been to Canada I don't know how many times. I love, and I relate to most of the people I watch. Most of the podcasters I watch are Canadian because that's who I relate to, because I grew up 20 minutes from Windsor. Like, it's a very similar, the people are similar because they're from the same region of the world, you know? And also I'm Canadian by blood. But anyway, yeah. While the people across the street are Republican, they don't push their opinion on anybody, but they always make sure they got the Republican sides out there. Anyway, with all of that drama and non-necessity talking, I wanted to use up the Red Heart Super Saver. This is a hat pattern. It is nobody's hat pattern. It's just a hat. I don't follow a pattern when I knit hats. I know that if I use 5mm needles and a worsted weight yarn, if I cast on 72 stitches, it fits my head. So cast on 72, 2x2 rib for as long as you want it to be, because that's totally adjustable. This is about an inch. It's about an inch, but sometimes I do a 2-inch brim. I knit in the round until it's about 7 inches because I have a big head. If you have a smaller head, 6 inches. If you have a really big head, do 8 inches. And then I start a decrease. That's all there is to my hats. Okay. So I knit this. I actually knit it on knitting needles. I think it turned out super, super cute. And this is the Red Heart Super Saver. What did I do with the other ball? Oh, it's still on the shelf. Anyway, I have a whole bunch of it left over. I had to ball it up because I used some and then I used some more. And I had to cut it at one point. And I don't remember why I had to cut it. So anyway, after I knit this, I was like, okay, it's kind of stupid to make an Americana hat in the wintertime because nothing happens in the winter. Like, there's not elections, there's not, like, 4th of July is our big Americana holiday, Memorial Day is an Americana holiday. Those are in the summer. So I was thinking about the stupidness of making an Americana hat. And so I was like, okay, well, what can I make out of this Americana yarn? So I knit a little headscarf or do-rag or whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna pull my hair up once again so I'm not tying it. So I made a headscarf. This is not a pattern either. This was me playing with my yarn. Okay. I started here, I cast on 3, and I did increases until I got this. Hang on. Now this does probably need to be blocked a little bit. But this is super cute. If you know how to knit, this is basically a small shawl. And then I cast off here. And then I crocheted a single crochet string on either side. And there we have, now I have a little head thingy for Memorial Day, 4th of July, summer things, etc. This is totally, I changed it so many times. Okay, so I cast on 3 and I was doing increases up the middle to create a triangle, and when you do that it creates like an arc at the top too, which is fine because it's going on your head. If it arcs, it's fine, like, obviously, right? So I forgot to do a different stitch on the outside to stop it from curling, so the tip doesn't have anything extra on it. And then when I got past the tip, I started doing a pearl border so that it doesn't curl as much. And then I started, the increases are just up the middle, and I just did the 2 center stitches. I did knit front and knit back for those 2 stitches. And then when I got up so far, I didn't want it to be real long in the back. I just wanted it to just like sit on my head. So I started also doing increases after the 2 stitches on either side that were the purl stitch. So, yeah, I think it's purl. Yeah, so 2 on either side. So when you're increasing up, the 2 outer stitches are purls. So you knit 1 row, purl the next, we knit 1, purl the next, but in the opposite fashion that you're doing the knit, if you get what I'm saying. I am not a very good, I'm a decent knitter, but I don't, there's way more that I can learn, but I get frustrated very easily with knitting because it takes so long. I actually enjoyed the process of creating and designing this, but like I said, I kept changing it as I was going along. So at some point along the 2 purl things, I started increasing there too, so it got wider faster, so that it wasn't so, you know, big. But if you can make a shawl, or you know how to make a shawl, you can do this. It was really easily. It was easily Are you hungry? Oreo's staring through the door at me. Mom, I'm hungry. And I have no idea what time it is. They usually eat at 10. So yeah. Oh, mushroom basket. Mushroom basket. Almost forgot. I was gonna end the video. So, this is the Jujus N Stitches Big Beautiful Basket pattern, this part. I held together 3 Red Heart Super Savers. The basket stands alone on itself. It really does. But I filled it with yarn packages. So, it's got packs of yarn in it that are meant for projects, that are meant to go together, that I have for planned projects. And while I was creating the basket at the bottom, I was trying to use up, this is the Red Heart Super Saver that came in the Mary Maxim knit kit for April. I held all 3 together, and then I think that's what I used in the purple and white scarf is the last ball, so I used the entire kit. While I was creating the basket part, it's just a white basket, and the dogs kept trying to lay in it. They thought it was a dog bed, and it's sitting on the couch, and Juju goes, you know what? In case you're new here, Juju is my daughter who's getting ready to graduate high school. She's all, that would be so cute if you turn that into a mushroom. And I was almost done with the basket at this point, and I'm like, you're really gonna make me do more work, huh? Because it was a brilliant idea. It was brilliant. And I'm like, I'm making it into a mushroom because she just said it's like the perfect color. And she's right, it's the perfect color. Now this thing is super heavy because there's a lot of yarn in here. There's easily 40 skeins of yarn in this basket. And it's a little bit different than Jujus Stitch's basket because I do the rim a little bit different, not a whole lot different. And my walls are half double crochets, not single crochets, because it works up better for me. I like half doubles. They work up faster, in my opinion. They use up more yarn, which is good because I was trying to use up all the Super Saver. And then I also changed the rim a little bit. I did the top part, I single crocheted around the post on the inside of the, or maybe I did it around the outside. Anyway, I single crocheted around the half double crochet post, and it created an extra thick lip at the top. Now, the pièce de résistance, the mushroom cap. I held together 3 yarns, and by now you should have already seen the Just Yarn Value yarn that I showed for PL last week. The big giant skeins of the red yarn. Okay, I held that together with 2 skeins of Line Brand Hometown USA. I got a bunch of it at the thrift store years ago, and so I used up all of it. Well, I have a little bit left over. I have a ball. But I just started it like the basket, crocheting in the round. And then I would only, if you want to create something that's shaped like this, I only did increase on every other row. So the first like 4 or 5 rows, I did the increases like normal, like you were doing the basket, the bottom of the basket, right? And then the next row, I would just put 1 stitch in every row. And then the following row after that, I would do the normal increases at the 6 points. And then the next row, I would just do a single all the way around. And then the next row, I would do an increase at the 6 points. And I did that until it was big enough to fit over the top of the basket. And then I made little circles. I was gonna attach it, but then I just got tired of my hands hurting. So now it's just a mushroom basket. It looks better when it's sat down and like there's no lumps or something, but I mean, it's so cute and it holds so much yarn. And so now we can put it down there with the rest of the baskets. Ta-da! Now we have a mushroom basket. A lot of fun. The reason I started making that is because Jujus N Stitches was doing a live last week. Well, the week before maybe. She did a live for like 4 or 5 days in a row. And she was making the basket during the live. And then I was like, I'm going to make a basket with Jada. Because me and Jada were talking. And she kind of called me out in her video. because I told her I was clean. I'm going to be cleaning while I'm watching her, you know. And so she kind of called me out. She's all, you know, if you use the yarn and make it into a basket, you don't have to put it away, right? And so that's exactly what I did. It was a good point. I turned it into a basket instead of putting those 4 skeins away. And then I had room for the kits. They're not even kits. They're packs of yarn that I purchased with the intent of making wearables this summer. So now they're there so that I don't have to go digging for them. They're out, right? So I made so much this week. I'm really proud of the progress I made. I really want to make some more of these because I had a lot of fun making those. And it only took me about an hour to make them from start to finish with all the details and finishing up and everything. And the next project I'm going to be working out of this, I purchased this pattern last year. Michelle from MJ's Off the Hook released this set of patterns. And I purchased it last year with the intention of making things, and I never got around to making anything. And like we often do, we buy patterns and we put them away. And well, I'll get to that when I finish this project. And then we start another project and we forget we even did the pattern. Well, Nancy from She's Off the Hook too was like, I bought these patterns. I was like, I have those patterns. Those patterns go up to a size 5X. That's why I love them. And Nancy's like, well, I'm going to use some of these patterns. And I was like, well, I'm going to crochet along with Nancy. So this time, I don't know what pattern Nancy is doing next. Nancy, at the recording of this video, is away on a ship with a bunch of other people, and she's having an amazing crochet time, okay? My next whip, I'm picking on my own. I'm not going with Nancy. Like, whatever Nancy makes is cool. I think Nancy is... Actually, I don't know what Nancy's doing. I'm not going to speak for Nancy. But, I'm making the Lacy Days kimono. I'm making this next. And I already have the yarn. The yarn is in that mushroom basket. It's going to be blue, but it's not going to be that color blue. And that's going to be my next big project. But because with everything going on right now, I don't know when I'm going to get started on that. I don't know when I'm going to do the next thing because graduation, Mother's Day, vacation, like all of these things are coming up. And then the summer is going to be intense because my niece still doesn't have her driver's license. I have to get both of the kids, both of the girls, both of the adult children of mine driving. So I'm going to be teaching them driving even more. I'm really pushing them both to get their driver's license because the idea of me driving them back and forth to these jobs is just... I need them to drive themselves, honestly. And I need help around the house. They're adults. They can help. They can start driving things around and picking stuff up from the store for me. That is my goal, is to get that taken care of this summer, to get them both driving. And so that is a priority. And then also I have a concert in July I'm going to with the girls. I have a concert in August for my birthday that I'm going to with the girls. And so there's like, and then like... The concert with the girls in August and my birthday is the 7th. I have to take my niece back to college on Lucas's birthday, which is the 8th. My birthday is the 9th, as well as my wedding anniversary with Mr. Cinnamon. We got married on my birthday. So, and then the kids are back in school. Juju is starting college in August. It's just a lot is going on right now. This summer is going to be intense. So, but I'm busting my butt to keep content coming, to keep my income rolling so I can pay for college. And, all of the good stuff. But I think I showed you everything I made. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, I believe, will feature Juju. She's going to be in the video showing off some of her stuff. We had a lot of fun. We're just doing mommy-daughter type stuff. What? I love you too. Hang on one second. I'm ending the video. And I'm going to let you go. Little man needs me. The dogs are at the door wanting to be fed. And lots of good content coming up this week. I also, for P out on Thursday, I have a yarn that I ordered that is new from Premier that I'm going to show you guys because it's really super cute. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.